Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday, January the 12th, 2021 edition of free mini live numerology readings with Lindsay Knight. And it's not going to be just numerology, it's going to be a few things. I'm Lloyd Woods, I'm with the Ninth Vibration, and my partner Lindsay, although she is with the Ninth Vibration as well, she is also the Hermit Numerologist. And we're going to be doing some free mini readings tonight. In order to get a reading for tonight, please just text your name and phone number to 226-750-6534, and we'll do our best to make sure that you get on the list for tonight. We'll do our best. Just a couple of comments. Normally at this time I would be talking about some of the different events going on at the store. However, with this situation with COVID in Ontario right now, we're not doing them. And that's just in honor of all the self-isolation and all this other good stuff. We gotta honor what's going on here. This afternoon, there was an announcement made by Doug Ford, and I'm sure there's going to be a few people out there asking the questions, so I might as well say it right now. As far as I am able to discern from the postings by the Government of Ontario, we are still open, only for curbside deliveries. So, how do we do this? There's a couple of options. You can either call the store at 519-265-9099 and you can leave a message or talk to one of us. One of the most effective ways seems to be if you were to send us a message through Messenger, either from Instagram or Facebook. Just let us know what kinds of things that you want to do, and we'll put together a package for you, and we'll get in contact with you and make arrangements for the times and deliveries that we have things ready for you. Now there are some other options. We can do some shipments outside of the Guelph area. We'll be depending on Canada Post for that, but again, we'll let you know exactly what the costs are going to be and all this other good stuff when we're communicating back and forth. Is that everything?
Other than profess your love for me.
Oh, I love you. There's no doubt about that. Oh, I'm speechless now. What can I say? Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm just going to pass it over to Lindsay.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Lloyd. Tag team. Right on. Hello, friends. This is Lindsay coming at you from Waterloo, hanging out with the dogs, with Lloyd, and with all of you.
Am I a dog?
Well, no, I said the dogs and you, Lloyd. Hello, Sandy Edwards. Just a few seconds to talk about the read that we did the other day. I had a lot of fun, and we're going to do it again. It was just really, really interesting. I had a couple of people reach out to me just to, celebrate that time that we spent together doing that read. It was a collective read where everybody brought their own cards, and we're going to be doing that again. The other thing that's really cool is yesterday and today I've spent most of my energy writing out. I think I've been talking about these affirmation cards, and so they're going to be ready, whenever they're ready. But I'm excited about them. And guess what the name of my deck? Well, it is kind of a deck, but guess what the name of it is? You get a free prize, a free hug, a free virtual hug if you can guess what the name of my affirmation deck is. Throw it out there, kids. I'll wait for you. What do you think is the title of my affirmation deck? I have to remember it. Any guesses? No free hugs. Let me see. I have it here somewhere. It's been probably one of the coolest things that I've been done, because you just have to sit down and write. Go the fuck for it. That's close. The name of my deck is called I'm Fucking Amazing Affirmation Cards. And they're going to be coming. Uplift, I love you. That's a great name. I should change it to that, actually. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to kind of launching those. Those are going to be great. We're also going to be putting, some of our products, as Lloyd said, online, which I'm very, very excited about. So other than that, if when you decide you want a reading, if you don't mind shutting down your sound, we get feedback here, and that's a little distracting for me. Let's see what energy we're coming into, okay? You ready? We're going to start off. Here's my dice. These dice, I love these dice. So I'm just going to focus in, and I'm going to do the first roll. And I'm just going to focus in on the people that are here and the energy that you're all bringing, because I can connect with all of you. And so I'm just going to roll the dice. And this is just drawing on the energy of the people that are watching. You ready? Here it comes. Wow. Double threes. So, no doubt in my mind that there are people that are watching that are right ready to manifest something different. And it's a manifestation. It's also about self-nourishment. It's about being a mentor, being a teacher, coming into your power, creativity, development. So double threes right off the bat. Then the next thing are double sixes, which is kind of interesting because for me, sixes really speak about the muse, that inspiration. It also speaks about balancing emotions, especially when there's two sixes. And so I find that that's really interesting. I mean, this is all a very, very emotional time for all of us for so many different reasons. And that's why I just love being here, and so does Lloyd, being here with you on Tuesday night. This is a 4. So 4 is all about leadership. It's about power. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone into an area in your life that perhaps you've always wanted to venture into, but up until now you're a little bit afraid. The other thing too is it's like, I mean, this is one thing I definitely can say about my experience so far in this lifetime is I do like to challenge myself. Like and I sort of attribute that to a little bit to my dad, because we grew up on a farm. There was 3 girls. My father never looked at me as a girl. Like, he just said, you get out there and bale the hay and pick up the hay and go feed the cows and fix the fences. So I just feel like I can do anything, and so I want you just to step out of your comfort zone. So first roll of the night, double threes, double sixes, and 4. That's cool. Very cool. Didn't you love that, Lloyd?
I loved it.
All right, that'd be $75, please.
Okay. Put it on my account.
So let's get rocking. We're going to get our first number going, if I have the great privilege of having a number ready for me. Okay. Gotta go here. Did you get your bell away?
I did.
That's good. Ring that bell. Hail, ring that bell. Here you go, my darling. Love you. Right on.
It works.
Hello?
Hi, how are you? This is Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Can you spell me your first name?
K-I-M-B-E-R-L-E-Y.
L-E-Y. And so what's really interesting is you got double E in your name. And so looking at the energy of your name, this lets me know that you have a great mind, that you kind of analyze things, and that you're a visionary, and there's always another question, and there's a spiritual depth to you. and that you're the type of person that appreciates a real intimate connection with people, that you're not great at surface relationships, that you go underneath love, that most people sort of, it's like, I want a more of an experience. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
It's also what's really interesting is throughout your name and the energy of your name that you show me your spine. So it lets me know that you're an independent person, that at sometimes there's no doubt there's a bit of resistance in you, but you know what you like, you know what you don't like, and you're prepared to kind of stand in that power. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes, 100%.
There's also an energy letter in your name, which is a Y, which, you know, you and I shared the same last letter in our names, which means you're a black sheep. And so what that means is that there's a bit of an orphan that lives and dwells inside of your heart. And so you feel like you don't fit, or you'd be in a crowd of people and yet you'd feel somewhat lonely, but you'd be creative and you see things in your own way, and that you're not really influenced by what other people think or say, that you'll create something and put your own little spin on it. And it's not because it's not for you a competitive thing. It's more like, well, like, okay, like I'm going to buy this thing, but I'm going to just change it up a little bit just to kind of give it your own little pizzazz. The other thing too is in your first letter, which is the capstone or the cornerstone letter, do you notice the very first stroke of the letter, you show me your spine. So this lets me know that you're a person that stands in your power. Then if you see there's an energy, that first line that creates the top of the K, it's like drawing things to you, and then there's also pushing it away. So for you, it's all about balance. And so it takes a lot to get you cranky, but when you're finally cranky, like, watch out. Like, does that make sense?
yeah.
Like, it takes you a little bit, like, you're pretty easy going, but like sooner or later you'll bite.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
Then your soul essence letter is an I, which really speaks about, like, when you look at the energy of I, it shows you your spine, like it's right there. And so people with the I in their name typically are people that they're very generous of spirit, but they have a hard time receiving. So like it's hard for you to ask.
Yes, I totally relate with that.
Okay, ready? Right hand up. Tell me when your hand's up.
It's up.
I,
I,
in the year
in the year
2021,
2021,
will ask
will ask
for more help.
for more help.
Yeah, just do it. I mean, it's such a vulnerable place for you to be, but it's so good because you'll be amazed at how many people will come to your service and be there for you, and you deserve to know that truth. Like, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I'm
Okay.
actually stepping out right now.
Yeah.
So that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, good. Okay, the first thing I pick up with you is I feel that there's a left hook in your side. And so this is a male that's kind of hooked into your energy. And this male, although is no longer in your life, the essence of his energy is in your left side.
Okay, I could relate to that. That's
Okay.
something I'm trying to cut ties with right now.
Okay, like just so you know, it's greater than a tie, it's a hook. So what that means is this person knew exactly how to push your buttons, and this person knew exactly how to kind of manipulate you into sort of giving and giving away your power. Okay, first thing you got to do is you just have to forgive yourself, because I guarantee the reason that you gave away your power is just that you wanted love, that your soul needed love. And so it's not really a weakness, it's just that your intention was really pure. So let me ask you, going into the left side, do you feel the hook? Is it buried, or can you feel that it's kind of on the surface?
No, it's buried. It's like right in the bottom part of my left lung.
Yeah, neat. And so no doubt that this person took away your breath or took away your life force. So I mean, what would be really cool is, one thing I definitely would do is I would, like, do you know his first name?
Yep.
Okay, first name.
Tracy.
Okay, and the birth year.
61.
Okay. And the month
June.
and the day.
13.
And so just so you know, there's no doubt in my mind, like, I guarantee that this is old. This isn't just the relationship that you shared with this person in this life. This is a past life connection. So that's why it's so deep. And that's
many
why
lifetimes.
it's so hooked into you. But what's really neat is like, this is what I say. This is your body. This is your spirit. Ultimately, this is your hook. So you have the opportunity just to call it and beckon it and say, I want to confront you. Stop hiding. Stop hiding. Like, come to the surface so you and I can renegotiate. Like, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I kind of just went through that, and we're getting ready to sign divorce papers.
Yeah, and all I know is that it's perfect timing, because just as I came into your field, I could feel that. So I want you just to, like, if you're going to sign away all of this attachment to this person, you might as well deal with the energetic hook that is inside of you. And so, no doubt in my mind. Your birth year, Kimberly?
65.
And so you understand that your mind is typically about 10 steps ahead of your experience.
I could relate to that.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, you're always preparing for the future. Like, you're always kind of, there's a dread attached to it. So there's a part of you that feels that you need to prepare for something that's coming, or that you have to be prepared. And all I'm saying to you is that, you know, one thing I definitely would do is I would try to pull back your mind so you're more present, where you're more like just present. Like, because think about what you miss when your mind is ahead of your life. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that
Okay.
right now.
Okay, yeah. And we're going right to your mother. Your mother's birth year?
Yeah. 48 or 49.
Okay, just kind of let it go and then just go with whatever one you think.
48.
48. And the month?
September.
And the day?
6.
You want to know something that's really interesting? I guarantee that hook that you're carrying, I also believe that part of it you transferred from your mom. Because you understand that there's a male hooked into your mom's energy as well. Okay, like, does that make sense to you? There was a male in her life that definitely tried to break her spirit or to shame her. Okay? And so you would have absorbed it, but what's really wild, because both of you, you have a very strong spiritual connection to your mother's energy as well. Your month?
My month?
Yeah.
January.
And the day?
19.
Wow, you want to know something that's really cool? Like, with you, like, you understand you're a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what that means is highly intuitive. You have the ability to scan and read people. As soon as you come into their field, you'll know right away if you like them, if you don't like them, if you trust them, if you don't trust them. And literally what you do is you change according to who's in front of you.
Yes.
Okay, ready? Right hand up. Right hand up. Tell me when it's up. I, in the year 2021,
2021,
am no longer willing to shift. To shift. So you shift according to who's in front of you. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it anymore. Number one, it's exhausting. Number two, you're not being authentic. Like, you're just kind of giving them a version so that they're comfortable. And so it just leaves you empty. It's like, no, I'm not going to shift anymore. Like, you're beautiful just the way you are. Like, you don't have to change according to other people's moods. Let me just see. 6,
This is all stuff I'm going through right now. It's just so funny.
10, 8, 9, 21, 2, 3. But see, you want to know something. Like, you understand that you carry a burden. That even as a child, you felt responsible. A weight.
I feel like it's ancestral.
It's more than that. It's the emotional energy of everyone in your family. But even before, like, you are an old soul. And I am going to be doing past life readings again. And for you, like the burden you carry is old, just so you know, and you've carried it for a long time. So for you, you tell me a day in your life where you haven't felt either weighted down by somebody else's stuff or responsible or burdened. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that would be the day that I moved, like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, and so all I know is this is really, you're in the perfect year. You're in a shedding year. This is where you get to let go of all sorts of stuff. Like, I mean, I have to be honest with you, for you, like you were a married person.
Was.
Yes, and I'm here to say to you that there's a part of you that never got married to get divorced. So there would be like this huge disappointment, even though it's the right thing to do. And so like you understand that for you, like there's almost a priest energy inside of you. And this would be somebody that when they say something, they mean it. They have a difficult time lying, so they'll tell the truth. You know, they'd suffer with guilt and all that sort of stuff. But for you, like saying those vows, it's like you just wouldn't marry anyone. That's right. So one thing you need to do, and it is a ritual of releasing yourself from your marital vows. I release myself from my marital vows. I release myself. And it's where you literally release yourself from the vows. And so, because often what happens, especially when you have the heart of a very moral soul, I mean, you won't draw anybody else to your life or anyone that you'll have a future with. So just so you know, this year for you is a 7 year. Last year would have been a bit of a shit show. The year before that, you would have renegotiated contracts. The year before that, you would have stepped into your power. And we're going back all the way to 2014. That's a big year for you. 2005. 1996.
Yeah.
1987. 1978. And 1969, so when you were 4 years old. So, you know, like that, just so you know. So when you were 4 all the way up, whatever dates that I gave you, those years, I guarantee that's part of the, you know, and this is what's really interesting. Like you believe deep in your heart that your ex took something from you. Would you agree?
In past lifetimes?
No, in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Right? Like you believe that he took something from you.
Yeah.
Okay? What do you believe he took?
Part of my soul.
And I'm here to say to you, I guarantee before you met him, it was already gone. Do you know what I mean? Because you drew a male to you that didn't really nourish you.
Yes.
That's right. So, you know, so just so you know, like you've got a lot of inner work to do, but it's so cool because no doubt in my mind you're ready to do that. I'm going to do the dice for you. Here's your dice.
Lindsay, you're hitting things like right on the nail.
Oh, cool. Look at this. You know what's really cool? Okay, so number 1 that screams at me is the number 4. So this is taking back your power. It's taking back your power and standing in your power and knowing even though you're uncomfortable, you're willing to do it. Then your next letter, which is very cool, is a 7, which is all about like shedding, letting go of stuff you no longer want to carry, finding your balance, finding your power, definitely being able to see whether or not, like there may be a bit of anger that's come up in the last little while. Next letter is an 8. And so this really speaks about the advocate, finding your balance, being able to be in your power, speaking your truth, standing like, you know, when you look at a justice energy, you'll find them advocating either for someone or for yourself. This one is 9. So this lets me know that the angels are around you, that this has been something that has been brewing for a little while, and that there's a closure that comes to it, but there's also a birthing, which is the energy of 12. And so, like, just so you know, your numbers for tonight, your winning numbers are 4, 7, 8, 9, and 12. So, yeah. Good?
Thank you very much. That's awesome reading.
Yeah, well, you're
You're
most...
really confirming
Yeah.
things that I'm going through.
Yeah, and see, like with you, and with you, it's really interesting because what I definitely would want you to do, like a detox. Like at our store, we sell these really beautiful bath bombs that we just brought in recently. It's myself and another lady we have kind of created them, and one is an activated charcoal, and it's just a detox. It's like I want to let go of all of this because for you. You have been conditioned and contracted to absorb the emotion of other people. So therefore, it's in your tissue, it's in your muscle, it's in your skin. And that's where I really love baths. It's where you just let all of that go. So thank you very much for texting in, Kimberly. And do the work, and you can always call back any other time.
Okay, thank you very much, Lindsay.
Okay, you're
Very,
most
very
lovely.
grateful.
Okay, you're most grateful.
Have a great night.
Okay, bye, love.
Bye.
Aw, you're most grateful. Hang on, I gotta just do this, Lloyd. My dice are just screaming at me tonight. I love it. Almost screaming as much as you're gonna be at me in about 10 minutes. Thank you, sweetie.
I'll be ringing my bell.
Okay, yes. Yes. If you came up with a song, that would be good. Dun, 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 dun. Did I knock that one? Okay, cool. Thanks, Babs. Thanks.
You're welcome.
You're most welcome, Kim.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Just one sec, okay? I got your sound. Can you spell your name for me?
Sure, Jacy.
Wow. See, this is what's so very cool in your name. Like the very first letter in your name, which is your cornerstone letter. And this really is the introduction of who you are in this life. And you see that it looks like a little hook.
Right.
Do you see that J? And it looks like you could go fishing with it, right? So this lets me know that people know how to push your buttons emotionally. That you struggle with saying no without feeling guilty. That people know exactly how to influence you. And that there's a part of you that just feels bad or you feel like you're on the hook.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Okay? And then your next letter, which is the soul essence letter, this is the A. And if you see it, it looks just like a little bridge. I mean, here you have an opposing force, here you have an opposing force, and then you have this bridge. So this lets me know that you're a person that really struggles with confrontation. You don't like any conflict. There's a part of you that sort of fills in all the gaps or things that are missing. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes, that does make sense.
Okay, then you look at the next letter, and if you look at the letter O, the letter O really speaks of fullness, the fullness and wholeness. And then when there's that little fracture, it lets me know that something happened early in your life that was a bit of a trauma, a bit of a shock that you have never recovered from. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay? And then the Y just lets me know that you're a bit of a weirdo just like me, and I love it. Your birth year?
2002.
2002. And your month?
06.
And your day?
28.
28. And do you mind, I can't hear you quite well. Can you sort of speak up a little bit for me?
Sure, sorry about that.
Okay, that's better. So you understand that you walk in two worlds. You walk in the world of the logic, which means you need absolute proof, and that you also walk in the world of the spiritual, where you're a deeply spiritual person. Like, would you agree?
I would. That's definitely something, the spiritual part is I'm trying to get into more, and I've noticed that for sure.
Yeah, and I'm here to say, like, I'm telling you that you are an old soul. This is not new for you. This is something. Like, we sort of equate our intuition, like, with, you know, crystal balls and the reader and the tarot reader. But, like, with you, like, there's no doubt in my mind, and you tell me if I'm wrong, that you literally have the ability to feel the emotion of the people that you love. That you literally can look at a person and know if they're struggling, know if they're having difficulty, know if they're sad, know if they're happy, and like you can do it just by sensing their energy. Like, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And that for you, your mind has a very deep, strong connection to your stomach. So when you get triggered, it goes to your mind, and then it all knots up in your tummy. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so one thing I definitely would do if I were you, and I know you can do this, I want you to imagine that cord that connects your mind and the fear of your mind to the fear that resides in your tummy. And I want you, when you're ready, just to literally try to sever that cord. And it's where you are very aware of it for a while, because I think that they kind of joined energies very early in your life. And it's something that has, sort of followed you forever. And there's no doubt in my mind, like, think about it. You were born in 2002, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you, how many children do you have?
I have no children.
That's right. So you tell me why you have so much anxiety.
Oh, I wish I knew.
Do you know? And I'm telling you, it's because you're an old soul. Some of the stuff that you've already brought forward. Because listen, if you are young and beautiful and smart and passionate and intuitive and kind and all of those things that you are, and you don't have any children, like, you are right on the doorstep of your whole life. So, I mean, then like, if you said to me, oh, Lindsay, I have 3 kids, then there's 100 reasons why you would have fear. But with not having any children, then you know that it belongs to someone else. So who do you think it belongs to?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say. There's a lot going on.
I can tell you, it belongs to your mother.
Okay. I was going to say that. She's sitting right next to me.
Yes, and it's not because she's not a good mom. It's just that, like, think about it. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. From now until September, that's where you were for 9 months out of your life, the beginning of your life. And I guarantee that your mom has anxiety. So, if you believe like I do, like if you, this is what I say to people all the time. If you want to know your energetic health, then you've got to figure out what was going on with your mother when she was pregnant with you. And so, like, there's no doubt in my mind that you would have absorbed it. So this lets me know that you were contracted early in your life, and this would be a nonverbal communication to absorb the emotion of other people. Like, does that make sense? Yeah. And so what I want you to do is I want you to step back, and I want you just to allow yourself to be in some space. And where, like, we do not have to take on the emotion of other people just to assure them that we love them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, hang on one sec. Wow, this is a big year for you, 10, 12. Last year, okay, let me see. I'm going to do a calculation for you. Just a moment.
All right.
2018. What was going on there?
2018, I was in the middle of high school. I was having some stuff with friends, maybe.
Okay. So what you mean stuff with friends?
I was having lots of times just feeling left out and figuring out who were good friends and who I should be spending my time around.
Yeah, and see, what's really interesting is I guarantee that you personally would be, like, you would connect more with older people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even at that time, I guarantee you, it's not so much that you were trying to figure out who you fit in with and all that sort of stuff. It's that you just didn't fit with any of them because you brought forward this old soul, and they were, focusing on stuff, and you're just going, I'm not interested in any of this stuff. Like, this is silly. So, like, just so you know, 2009,
2009.
you would have been 7.
No, I didn't. Yeah, we just moved to a new place on the farm, maybe, so that was a big transition.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, but for you, it's almost as if it, like you understand that you don't like change.
Yeah.
That you can try and control things. And I mean, like, one thing I definitely would do if I were you, and this is what I would do. Okay, ready? Right hand up. Let me know when your hand is up in the air.
Yep.
I,
I,
in the year
in the year
2021,
2021,
am committed
I'm committed
to do
to do
the complete
the complete
opposite
opposite
of what I normally do.
of what I normally do.
Yeah. Like, don't you love it? It's like, just do the opposite. Like, I'm going to take you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but that's really good. Let's do mom. What's your mom's birth year
Her birth year is 1970,
and the month
11,
and the day?
29.
Wow, your mother, I guarantee that your mother in a past life walked with Christ. So this lets me know that her soul is very old and her soul carries a lot of old memories. And so there's no doubt in my mind that she suffers with feeling guilty and bad as well. Would you agree?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and so there's no doubt in my mind, and that she's highly sensitive, highly intuitive. Both you ladies are incredibly highly sensitive and intuitive, but like, she internalizes her emotion.
Okay.
And so, and so that's why you would absorb it. I want to see if you guys have a contract. Just one sec. See that? See, you came to this life. You brought her purpose. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that, no doubt in my mind, you're like her oak tree.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no doubt in my mind that your life gave her purpose. Like, your life, she just, like, were you the firstborn?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, like right there, you're screwed. Just saying. Just saying, Mama's got her hooks on you. Tell your mama that she needs to call in for a reading, because, like, she's a very cool lady. I mean, she's got some really interesting numbers. Okay, I'm going to do your dice for you. You ready?
Alrighty.
Okay. And so the first ones that come out are the double 12s. And so this really is the energy of your mom. I mean, she's a 3, and so you have 3 and 3 walking on each side. So this lets me know that your relationship with your mom is very old. And so it's really interesting. So, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that she brought the best of herself to her daughter. So that, you know, for you, it's like she wants you to have a greater opportunity than she did. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
like, there's no doubt in my mind. And so there's no doubt that she would be supportive, but it's where you sort of look at, you know, like, you also have to live your own life. So it's like there's this influence, and part of it is because she's your mom and she loves you with all her heart. Part of it is because you have a past life connection. Part of it is, I believe, in a past life you were the mother and she was the daughter. So your energetic connection is not only very old, but it's very complicated, if that makes sense. Then number 2 comes on the board for you, and this lets me know that you're a highly intuitive person, that you tend to be a record keeper, that you have a hard time letting go of things, you tend to stew. Again, it's connected with the mind and the stomach. Then we also have an 8, which really is about balance. So for you, balance is a really big thing. I mean, the one thing about the priestess energy is they really connect with the moon, and yet they definitely have difficulty of not knowing what's coming. Like, if you don't know what's coming, there definitely is a dread that's attached to you with that. So just so you know. And also, you also have a 10. So this lets me know there's a lot of change and settling around you, that you're kind of stirred up. Things have stirred up in your life, and there's all this stuff going on. But just so you know, you're going to find your balance. You're going to find where you need to be. And there's no doubt in my mind that this year for you is going to be like where you're preparing to take a step. Next year is where you're going to come back in, like, come really into your power. So this year, it's like, if you want more joy in your life, plant seeds of joy. If you want to address your anxiety, then reach out to some sort of counselor, or do something about whatever it is. You're in a year of manifestation, and you're in a year of planting seeds. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that does.
Yeah, I just want to check something. I want to check, and then I'm going to go before Lloyd starts getting a little cranky. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. You want to know something? This is what I love. I mean, this is where you get to renegotiate with your mom. And because she's in the year, the very same vibration as she was when she had you. And so, you know, like there's no doubt in my mind that your love for each other is very, very great. And I mean, but it's where you also get to sort of, you know, like you get to sort of look at how that relationship can grow in a much more kind of, I don't know, in a much more kind of mature way. Like you're no longer this little girl, like you're growing up. And so, you know, I just think it would be cool.
Yeah, yes, for sure.
Okay, cool?
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. You have a beautiful night.
You as well.
Okay, bye. Bye, Mom.
Bye-bye.
Don't you love that? Okay, now give me 2 seconds if you don't mind, Lloyd. I like the sound of that. I can make a song. Listen. Let's do it, Lloyd.
Sounds like bones.
Okay. Next, move along. That's what I love about doing readings. Like, get on it, Lindsay. Get on it right now. Do it. Did you get that other lady that this
Yep.
one here?
She's on the list.
Okay. I just was
I got
not
it.
that I was concerned about. Not that I'm okay. Sorry, Lloyd. See the way my mind works?
It's scary.
It is a bit scary. You never mind, right? There you go. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Can you spell your name for me?
Yeah, it's Tracy, Tracy.
And see, like this is very interesting because if you look at the first letter of your name, which is the introduction of who you are, this is like, do you see there's a stick, which you show me your spine, but there's also the T at the very top. So this lets me know that you're a bit of a control freak, that you're a bit of a perfectionist, and that whatever you do, like you put your whole heart and soul in it.
Right.
And that for you, like you tend to absolutely kind of hold your body tight.
That's true.
Yes, and it's really neat because then if you look at your next letter, which is snug right up beside the T, you show me your spine again, and then you show me this little loop, that sort of that loop that kind of protects and shields your heart. So this lets me know that you're a person that retreats when you're upset, or you withdraw, or you absorb your own emotion, and that you're quite private person. But then you look at the little stick that comes out and touches the earth to complete the energy of the R. This lets me know that even though you may be wounded, or you may have had trust issues, or there's a part of your spirit that you believe is broken, that you are a person that is very generous of your spirit, and you're always there to help other people. In fact, that you're a leader and that you reach out to other people. Like, does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. Everything makes perfect sense. You're right on the money.
And then you have the A, which is your soul essence. This is who you are. And when you have an A in your name, this really is the energy of the bridge. So here's a conflicted energy, here's a conflicted energy. So you bridge whatever that conflict is. It also lets me know that you walk with angels. And so there's guardians around you. Whether someone is passed around you that you have a deep spiritual connection with, I guarantee that you have guardians that walk with you and beside you. So one thing I definitely would do, it's just like anything, the acknowledgement of your guardians. Like, does that make sense to you?
It does. I've been told before that I need to reach out to them and ask for support.
Yeah, well, you want to know something. It's like they are there for support, so you don't even have to really ask for it. It's just the acknowledgement that you are blessed and that you are protected. And what's really interesting is there's no doubt in my mind that you came to this life, that you had this beautiful faith, this beautiful guardianship, and then something happened early in your life that definitely was like a trauma, like a fracture that sort of fractured your soul. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, family dynamics. Sure.
Yeah. And so, but what's really interesting is sometimes what happens is there's a fracture that occurs, and then there's the healing. For you, it was backwards. It was like you had this beautiful energy of protection. So no matter what it was that you ever went through, just know you were never, never, never alone. And I've done 3 readings tonight, and all 3 have the Y, just like me, which means you're a little bit nuts. I mean, just means you're a little bit nuts, a little bit original. That, like me, you probably talk to your plants and they talk back to you, that sort of thing.
Right.
Your birth year.
My birth year is 1971.
Okay. And so this lets me know that deep in your heart that you carry the wounds of an orphan. And this lets me know that for you, that you're very sensitive to any type of dismissal, that you're sensitive to any type of shaming, that you're very sensitive to other people's suffering, that you're a spiritual leader, that you're a person that has an incredible depth to you and a complexity to you, that there's never really judgment with you. It's more like you just go, wow, like I wonder what happened to that person. Like I wonder what caused them to be, like so, lost or whatever. There's not a judgment, there's more of a curiosity. Also, typically with 9s, they often have never really recovered from the severing of the umbilical cord, because think about it, we come to this life connected to another human being, and within seconds that connection is severed from us. And so, like, just so you know, for you could be in a relationship and for whatever reason you just feel like something is missing, like something just is not there. Your birth month?
September.
Yeah, you're a double 9. Like, how cool is that? Your day? Your day?
Oh, sorry, 11.
Yeah. See, this is a 10, 9, 20. So do you read cards?
I have cards. I don't read professionally. I pull cards for myself every so often.
Yeah, and like I'm here to say that you need to get connected with your deck. And with you need an old deck. Like you need a deck that works with the shaman. Like I don't see you working with like the Celtic deck or that sort of stuff. Like it's more like shamanic teachings, definitely animal spirit. We're talking about power animals, animal power deck, that sort of thing. Like you would do my deck. Like I put out a deck and I'm getting prepared to launch my past life deck, because like with you, like you understand that you have a library of knowledge inside of you, and there is a part of you that doesn't know what to do with it. And so I'm here to say to you that you need to own it, that, like, I mean, because like no doubt for you, being of service to other people is of major importance to you. Would you not agree?
Absolutely.
And would you not agree that one thing that is so important is for you to give guidance that is neutral, that they would hear? Would you not agree?
Absolutely.
And so you see how you would say, like I talked to I did a reading today with online, and it was really neat because I was talking to her. She's recently just started watching my YouTube videos of the tarot course. I just put this little tarot course online, and like I said to her, tarot saved my life. Tarot saved my life. Like, why do you think we have a spiritual store? Everything in that store saved my life. And so that's what I'm saying is for you, you are a mentor, you are a teacher, you are a person that inspires. You're a person that has great empathy for other people. You're also a person that has great leadership qualities. And so like, and it's one of these things that's really interesting. I guarantee in a past life that you were persecuted. So there's a part of you that is very afraid of your power, because in a different lifetime, I guarantee that you would have been persecuted and shamed, and you would have been humiliated, you would have been excommunicated. So there's a part of your soul that has memory of that particular lifetime and that particular imprint. And sometimes our soul gets a bit confused, because our soul is, I believe, eternal. And so our soul may think that we're back in that lifetime of persecution. So one thing I definitely would do if I were you is I would sit down and I'd have a very beautiful spiritual conversation with yourself and say, you know what? I am not at risk. I am not at risk. I'm here, and I'm here as a leader. I'm here as a spiritual leader. You share two of the same numbers. I'm a 9 and I'm an 11. And so, like, you know, and I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, I call you the reluctant healer. And this is a healer that, you know, like me, I've never taken a course. Like, I never was that person that went, I want to be a tarot reader to help other people. That's not what I did. I went from being on the ground, dying, to finding and crawling myself back into a place where I feel proud of who I am as a human being and what I contribute. And you're the same. So, ready? Right hand up. I want you to let me know when your hand is up.
Okay, it's up.
I,
I,
in the year
in the year
2021,
2021,
am committed
am committed
to step into my power
to step into my power
and honor
and honor
the contracts
the contract
I agreed to.
I agree to.
There you go. Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, that's what I love so much about tarot. It's like, if somebody comes to me, it's like, oh, Lindsay, I've got this issue. It's like, perfect, come, sit down. Let's sit down. Let's shovel it. My sister did a reading on White and I the other day. It was so flippin' fantastic that I literally did the same reading on Sunday for people, like a live read. And you just need to connect with your cards. So I want you just to make peace with the fear inside of your heart of persecution. I want you to have a conversation for the fear of the exposure that you have going on, the fear of what other people will think. You know what? It's like this. Forget it. Like, I don't care. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do in this life. And I was contracted to do it. I'm just going to do a calculation.
Okay.
And this for you is a shedding. Like, honestly, like, you understand that you're very, very concerned about what other people think of you.
You're right.
You ready? Right hand up. Up.
Okay.
Tell me when it's up.
It's up.
Fuck.
Pardon?
Fuck.
Fuck.
It. You can't even laugh.
Oh, that.
Just say, fuck it, I'm doing it. I mean, seriously, okay? Last year would have been a bit of a shit show for you. In 2019, you would have gone through some sort of sorting out old contracts, old friends, and all that sort of stuff. Let me see. I'm keep going here. We're looking at 2014. What was going on there?
My mom, who lived with my kids, and I passed away.
Just so you know, love, there's no doubt in my mind that you haven't even fully felt the loss of your mom. And I'm telling you why. Number one is you just said that your mom lived with you and your kids, correct? And so there's no doubt in my mind, last year, you mess. Like, you would have just been weepy. You would have just felt more out of control last year than anything. And so just so you know, one thing, let's do your mother, her birth year.
1941.
And the month?
August.
And the day?
31st.
You want to know something very cool? I love this. I'm so glad that you reached out, Tracy, honest to God. Hang on one sec. Your mother, you know those double nines inside of you?
Right.
Just so you know, your mother embodies that number. And so she's inside of you.
Oh my
And
God.
there's no doubt in my mind that since 2014, there is something going on inside of you that believes that you don't have the right to have joy, or you don't have the right to grow, or you don't have any of that because your mom's not here anymore.
Right.
And I'm here to say to you, listen, I lost my dad 2 years ago now. Has it been 2 years, Lloyd?
Yeah, it's been about a year and about 3 months.
A year and 3 months, okay? And you want to know something? Whoever leaves us that has this huge impact on our lives, that person, if it weren't for my dad's loss, and I know you're going to get this, okay? If it weren't for my dad's loss, when our store went down, this was the first time it went down because we're just experiencing the second time that our store has come down. Lloyd came to me and said, Lindsay, you need to go online. And I said to him, I can't do this online. I've never done this unless the person is in front of me. And Lloyd looked at me and said, Lindsay, you have to do it. And at the end of the day, this is what I said to myself. If I can sit there when my dad is dying in front of me, I can do anything I can do. So my work here talking with you tonight and the work that we've done in the last 9 months every Tuesday night, if my dad had not died, then honestly I wouldn't be doing this. And so I want you to do something beautiful to honor the life of your mom and not just stay in mourning her loss. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. 2005, that'd be another big year.
My youngest was born.
Okay, and your youngest name
Julian,
and the birth year is 2005 and the month
April
and the day.
15th.
You want to know something? Your mother resides in the energy of Julian.
Interesting. He used to say that he would see her after she had passed away.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, I guarantee you, it's like not only that, she shares the same energy as Julian.
Interesting. Okay.
So just so you know, like, do you not see how protected you are?
I do. I mean, I know, but I guess sometimes I don't always feel it like in the day-to-day maybe.
Yeah, but it's like, it really is a mindset, right? 1996 would be another big year. 1987, so you would have been 16 years old. 1978, so you would have been 7.
I moved to Ontario from Quebec at that age.
Yeah. So, I mean, just so you know, right? Like, just so you know, it's all hooked up. So it's just, I want you to have, like, it's really, really interesting. Like, I believe that, you know, it's like one of these things. I mean, you're a deeply spiritual person, correct?
Yeah.
And you say to your children all the time, I guarantee you say this, whatever's meant to happen and anything's meant to happen, it's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And so, and that you believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And that there's always something good, even in any tragedy. I guarantee this is what you teach your children.
It is. Yeah.
And so
I preach it.
you need to practice what you preach, because if you don't apply that same medicine, that same beautiful spiritual practice in the loss of your mother, anything you tell your children will be lost.
Right.
Like, do you hear me?
I do hear you. Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
It's like, and not only that, your mother shares the same energy as me, so I know she'd be a pain in the ass. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind.
Life and be happy.
Yeah, like, there's no doubt in my mind. Here's your dice coming at you. Look at this. You got, let me see, you got a 6 and a 9. So when you look at the numbers 6 and 9, like, they sort of, they mirror each other. One is emotion, one is the spiritual. It lets me know that there's no doubt in my mind that you have this beautiful spiritual energy all around you and that you feel love, like, very deeply. But it's really neat because the 6 and the 9 kind of intertwine, you know, kind of go within each other. Then you have the 1 and the 10. So this lets me know kind of disruption and the adjustment to the disruption in your life. So things are changing, you're adjusting things that you don't know. There may have been some losses, but just so you know, it kind of goes the 1 and then it goes right to the 10. So this could be in everything in your life, whether it's a partner, whether it's your children, whether it's your job, whether it's the way you want to be in the world. And this also lets me know 12, which is all about the manifestation. So, like, I mean, this year you're in a shedding year. And it's like, you know, this is one thing that I learned. And because I definitely have gone through loss, I learned that if I carry guilt associated with the loss of, you know, like someone that I love, that my guilt has the power to put that person back into the body that they had left.
Oh.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to, like, guilt hangs, like, brings them back, their energy back. And so they go back into the body of which they left. And so that's one thing I definitely would do is I'd have this really, really cool conversation with your mom and say, you know what? I talked to this numerologist and she was talking to me and she shares the same energy as you. And there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to commit to reading, and that is how I'm going to honor your life. And that's the greatest thing about loss, is there is no doubt in my mind that you learned so many powerful spiritual lessons, not just in the life of your mother, but also with the loss of her.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Good. Did you enjoy it? What's that?
I said this was such a gift. I just happened upon that you were. I've been to the store several times, and I've taken a class with Lloyd before, connected to crystals class a few years back, and this was just such a gift that I happened upon this tonight. So thank you.
Yeah, and
thank you to Lloyd as well.
And I'm here to say to you, love, it's like this. There was a reason that you came in at that time. There was a reason that you got on the list. There was a reason that, because like for me, I never know where I'm going to read. I don't know if I'm going to go to your mother. I don't know if I'm going to go to a dog. I don't know where I'm going to go. And so just so you know, it's like there is not a greater way to honor the life of your mother by literally being in the legacy of her love by doing something really amazing. After my dad died, I invested in 2 39-inch gongs. It was like, and every time I sound the gong, it's like that was my father. He was bigger than life. And so that's one thing I definitely want you to have a conversation with your mom. Get out your cards, make a commitment to your cards, have that cleansing of persecution from your past life, and just keep saying fuck it. Like, trust me, it'll free you. Anyways, okay.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too. Bye, love.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, Lloyd.
Hi.
Here's to you, Babs.
You're running a
Oh my
little
God.
overtime.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I'm in the mood. I feel like I'm in the mood for a deeper connection, a soulful connection, a more involved connection. Don't mess with my cheek. Oops, sorry.
Okay.
Just kidding. I'll try and be good.
And I have to apologize for those people who are trying to text this phone but are not getting through. I've got 2 people on the list tonight that are having issues.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like I just said, everything happens for a reason. Everything does. Doesn't mean it's easy. That's kind of weird though, right? Here you go, my darling.
Spirits are making sure you get contact with those who need it most.
Hi, how are you, Paul? This is Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
Okay, how are you?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
Okay, good. Can you spell your name for me?
Paul, P-A-U-L.
Okay. And so you understand that for you, you're a bit of a channeler.
Okay.
Okay, and what that means is if you don't understand, like with your name, it's a highly spiritual name. Looking at your soul essence letter, and this is who you are on the inside out. This is the letter A, which really for me is about a bridge energy. And so this is a person who is an advocate. This is a person that doesn't like conflict. You're a person that doesn't like, that you like things kind of resolved. Like you don't like things that are hanging. Right beside the A is the U. And so when you look at the U, it really is about channeling energy that comes from the universe. And this is a direct connection to God. And so however you perceive God. So it's like bringing in this beautiful spiritual energy right through your crown. And so one thing I would suggest to you is that just before you go to bed, what you can do definitely is just ask the universe what it is that you need in your life. What, if you're struggling with a question or you're struggling with something, it's where you release it to the universe. And I guarantee if you do it enough, you'll wake up in the morning and you'll have such clarity. It's like, this is what I'm going to do. For you, there's no doubt, there's a part of you that tends to stew and you get kind of caught in your head. And all I know is that it sort of goes against this just really beautiful spiritual kind of messaging and communication that you can channel that will just put all of that to kind of rest. Your capstone letter, if you look at it, you show me your spine and there's a line that goes right across. And so this is a person that definitely has boundaries. So no doubt that you know who you are. There can be a little bit of rigid, like it's hard, you're a hard negotiator. If you really believe something is right or that you fully believe in something, like you sort of lock down in that belief. And your first letter, which is, this is your cornerstone letter, and this really kind of is the introduction. Again, you show me your spine, and then you also show me this little, like if you look at that round thing that sort of creates the P, it's like this shielding of your emotion. So it lets me know that when you're upset, you would retreat, you withdraw, like, you know, you pull your energy close into your body. Would you agree?
I agree, yes.
And so let me ask you, who in your life has come and sort of like kind of challenged that armor around all of your emotion?
Right now, my wife, I guess you'd call her, we don't live together.
Right? Yeah.
She's still, I guess, a part of my life. And then there's my ex-wife. And then there's somebody else who's come into my life that I haven't seen in over 30 years.
Yeah, and all I know is it's like it's one of those things that, just so you know, it's like part of it is because you're male, right? And like, you know, men, we are changing, but we are learning that we have to make room for the emotion for men and know that it's like they're entitled to that beautiful complexity as much as women. And so, like, there's no doubt in my mind that there's a part of you that definitely is injured and wounded. And so, no doubt in my mind, like, your wife or your ex-wife never truly had you fully. And the wild thing is they never really fought for that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I totally understand, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Lloyd. I mean, like, I know when him and I first met, you know, like, I had to challenge that and say to him, like, I want all of you. Like, I want all of you. And I'm prepared to give all of myself to you. But it's like, it's where that armoring definitely is challenged. Your birth year?
1971.
And so this lets me know that you have the heart. There's no doubt in my mind, deep down in your heart, that you believe that relationships typically are completely disposable. That sooner or later, the person is going to leave your life.
That has been my experience in the past, yes.
That's right. And I guarantee that for that reason, like most people believe that we are really messed up by abandonment, you know, like that we have abandonment issues. But it's been my experience doing this work and my own self-healing is that that's just not true. It's what we know. It's attachment. So there's no doubt in my mind that because you have this belief that's deep in your spirit that relationships are temporary, you will draw people to you that will prove that to be true. Like, does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so, like, I mean, no doubt. This also lets me know that you're a shaman, that you're a spiritual leader, that for you, a lot of your power comes through your hands. So it goes right through your crown, all the way through your chest and out your hands. And so what that means is that you have the ability to kind of soothe energy just by a touch, and that you have a radiance that comes from your hands. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
I try to help, and I do a lot of work with my hands, yes.
Yeah, and so, like, there's no doubt. And what's really neat is it comes right through you. Also, the one thing is that your heart has come from a past life, and I do believe in the imprints of past life, that our memory, our soul has memory of these imprints. And there's no doubt in my mind that you experienced a rejection early in your life. And so there's no doubt that you came to this life and your heart was already broken. So for you, trust would be a big thing. Like, emotional trust would be a really big thing. And just so you know, like, and you're sensitive to words, you know, And so what happens is you'll pull your energy in, you'll absorb your emotion, and then what happens is because you retreat, then the women in your life will try to pull you out by saying certain things. But the problem is the moment they say those things, your trust for them is gone. And so it's like that's where I want you to be really aware. It's like, no, I'm not going to pull my emotions anymore. I don't want to retreat. I want to challenge this belief, because with you, there's no doubt in my mind that you have a partner out there that will totally get you, where you just don't feel the pressure. Your month?
Month is May.
Yeah. And your day?
13.
You want to know something really wild, like honest to God. Like I guarantee, we're going to your mother. Can you give me your mother's birth year?
Mother, her birthday was 1952.
And the month?
Month is April 04.
And the day?
21.
21. And so you understand that you would absorb the emotion of your mother.
Okay.
Okay, so in other words, what that means is that you could look at her and know if she was okay, know if she was joyful, know if she was happy and all that. And if she was happy, you were happy. If she was not, you would absorb her emotion.
Okay.
And so what that means is at the time you wouldn't have known it, but as a result of that nonverbal communication, you entered into a contract where you believe that you need to absorb the emotion of females in order for them to know that you love them.
Okay.
Like, do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I do.
What that means is that you will draw women to you that have emotional issues, or that are suffering, or that don't know how to deal with their emotion, or they don't know how to do any of those things. So then you would absorb it, and you would tiptoe around the energy of the females that you would draw to you.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, forget it. I'm not doing that anymore. Like, what I need is a female. Like, for you, no doubt in my mind, like, you cannot date someone who is younger or marry someone who is younger. Like, there's no way in this world. In fact, you're better off dating somebody who's probably about 4 or 5 years older. And this person, if, you understand about red flags.
Yeah.
Okay? Red flags. And so it's one of these things that there's no doubt in my mind, like, if we have a mother who has a broken spirit, or who suffers, like her self-esteem suffers, or she's not happy in her marriage and she doesn't do anything to change that, then
Yep.
as her son, you understand that your energy would be drawn towards her emotion.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so, in other words, if I put you in a room with, say, 20 females that know who they are, that don't
Yeah.
need you to fix them, that don't need you to save them, that don't need you to be an oak tree, and I put one screw up who, can't pay her rent and all this, like, who do you think you date?
That would be the one.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm sitting there going, like, I mean, aren't you done with that?
I guess I should be.
Oh my God. I don't know, Lloyd. I mean, seriously. I mean, you're in a 5-year. This is a renegotiation of contracts. And there's no doubt in my mind, like, what you're showing me, what I feel from you, is that you are showing me a loss that you went through. And when I say that, what is the loss that you experienced, Paul?
Companionship?
No. This would have been an actual death or a loss.
Probably my grandmother and grandfather.
Okay? And so how old were you?
Early teens?
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
Good.
I was only there for one of them.
Yeah. And
I was on the other part of the country.
yeah, but you want to know something? I'm sorry. Like, honestly, like right now, my mother's 98 years old. She's sitting on the couch in Hamilton. I guarantee you, there's a part of me there. Absolutely. I can sit here with you, talk and hang out with our dogs, but there's still a part of me that's there. So just so you know, like, think about that loss. It was a double loss. Think about the fact of what you've carried because you weren't by the side of your grandfather or your grandmother. Like, think about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because that has put you on the hook, and you need to let yourself off a hook.
Okay.
Okay? Because there's a punishment going on with you. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Like, are you done with punishing yourself?
Yes, I'm done punishing myself.
Good, because you want to know something? This is the perfect year. This is the renegotiation. This is a year where you look at the contracts, you look at all those things, and you have to honor your truth. Your truth matters. Like, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, good. Now, hang on. I'm going to do a calculation for you. (2016). What was going on with you in that year?
16. I spent most of the year on tour.
Okay. And so, like, no doubt something happened.
I was away in 2016.
Okay. And so something would have happened. When you say you were on tour, what does that mean?
That means I was out with Drake on tour somewhere in the world, either North America or over in Europe.
Okay. So just so you know, something happened. And so, like, there's no doubt in my mind, 2007,
Nothing comes to mind.
1998, 1989,
That's, I believe my mom's brother passed away.
okay. Don't you see? Don't you see, love? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Here your mother's brother passes away, and you were just young.
Yes.
So not only did you lose your brother, you lost your grandfather.
And I wasn't there for that either.
Sorry?
I was not around for that one either.
Yeah, and I'm here to say to you, like, you're on the hook. No doubt. 1980,
No, nothing comes to mind.
okay? And that's when you were, and let me see, I'm looking at the contract with your 4, 5, 6, 9. See, like, I guarantee, like, honestly, do you have any idea what was going on with your mother when she was pregnant with you?
Well, although it was pregnant with me, they were getting married. They were starting their lives together.
In other words, what you're saying to me is they had to get married because your mother got pregnant with you.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I know that they had to wait for my dad to be old enough to be married.
Yeah, and all I know is, like, you know, like, that's the whole thing. Is like, honestly, like, I'm here to say to you that you were a person that, like, I mean, like, you just have a lot in your path. Like, you move in the energy of 9. You are a 9. You're in a 5-year. And so whatever's going on with you right now is hugely, hugely spiritually important.
And I sense that. I've had dreams, I've had visions.
Yeah.
I've had so many feelings this past 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, it hasn't just been the last 3 or 4 weeks. So, I mean, all I know is it gives you something. So I want you to look at where you're on the hook. I want you to look at where you feel the pressure. I want you to look at, you know, each relationship. I want you to look at your mother and then go all the way down to the people. And I mean, like, with you, like, you can find me if you feel like having a full reading. I mean, I think that it would be really good for you at some point. Let me just do the dice for you. Okay. Oh my God. Lloyd, 3 4s. So this really is about leadership. This is about leadership. Ready? Right hand up.
Right hand is up.
Okay? I, in the year 2020, 2021, sorry,
Okay, that's 2021.
am
Am
committed to grow a set.
a set.
Yeah. Do you know what a set is?
Yeah, it means I'm going to get rid of my wife.
No, it's a set of balls. It's not just about your wife. It's like this, you know, like,
I put off getting rid of her since the year after we were married, which was in
Yeah, and all I'm saying to you is that's why I'm saying, like, you need to just know. It's like you get to bring power in all of your life. Mind, body, spirit, in all of your life. And so it's where you look at that. Also, you're moving in the energy of 5, which knows that it's a guardianship. It's also renegotiation of contracts. Then you have a 10, which means you get to stir some shit up. So, just so you know, Paul, you just need to, like, listen. I guarantee, like, people don't, like, when you go through an ex, divorce, separation, what you think? It's going to come back? Then what? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm assuming that the divorce and the separation, dividing of all the assets and all that sort of stuff would have been very difficult on you. Would you agree?
Extremely hard. Extremely difficult.
And I'm here to say to you, I'm just here to remind you of that. But anyways, I've got to go, or Lloyd's going to hit me with the...
I will be in touch for another reading. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I'm just here to say, like, just know your numbers tonight were 4, 4, 4, 5, 10. Change and absolutely stirring things up, but knowing it's the right thing to do and knowing that you deserve to stop punishing yourself. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you very, very much.
You're most welcome. Bye, love.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Lloyd, okay. Can we have a... Okay.
You can't
I'm
take my
just gonna-
job from me.
Bring in the dragon, out with the... What is it?
Breathe in the butterflies.
Out with the dragon.
Breathe out the dragons.
Oh, Amy's sending me lots of hearts, which means she loves me. That's what it means. Okay. I gotta move some papers around, Lloyd. I'm a bit hot too. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, we're going here.
Where?
How am I doing? Am I staying on time?
No.
Not at all. Uh-oh.
Be doing overtime.
Uh-oh. Do I get double pay?
Nope.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you.
I'm very good, thank you. Can you spell your name for me, love?
Sure. My name is Amy.
Okay.
A-M-N-Y.
And see, like, that's what's just really interesting to me. Like, do you see how in the middle of your name you have a little M? So it goes up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. And so this lets me know that there usually is a lot of energy around you, that it's hard for you just to sit down. It's hard for you just to know that I can just be cool. And so there's always this energy around you. And what's really neat is there's a lot of creative energy around you as well. Your birth year
My birth year is 1988.
and your month
October
and your day.
6.
Wow. And so you understand that you carry the energy of the muse. And what the muse is a person that definitely brings inspiration. When you love, like you feel everything, like all of your energy is heightened, all of it. And so whenever you, like, you know, you have the ability to kind of feel your life around. And there's no doubt in my mind that deep down inside, there's an insecurity inside of you. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And so that insecurity is something that has shadowed you all of your life.
Yeah.
And so what's really neat, have you ever confronted it?
Yeah, honestly, as of 2020.
Yeah. And so it's really interesting because like that insecurity is very, very old, but what it feels like, it doesn't feel like it belongs to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Okay.
I would say that yeah.
Let's do your mother. Let's start there, okay? So what is your mother's birth year?
1955.
And the month?
February
And the day?
23rd.
Right there, you're screwed. I mean, like, right there, you're screwed. Like, here is this mother. I guarantee she loves her daughter, but you understand that your mother has a lot of anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
And you understand that she really struggles with insecurity and fear of what other people will think of her. And there's no doubt in my mind that she also, in some way, was abandoned by her family, or she just feels like, you know, she's a black sheep, that she doesn't fit, that she doesn't have this tribe.
Yeah. She's an only child, and
And so, you know, it's just interesting, right? Like, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, and that's what I love. Like, I love the energy of the muse because, like with you, you understand it's all about your eyes. You have this charismatic energy that you just, when you love something, you really love it. You're a bit needy, no doubt in my mind. And for you, balance is everything. And so, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. And you were, are you an only child, did you say?
No, I have an older sister.
Okay, let's do, hang on one sec. C3456. Like in 1988, your mother, do you know what was going on with her, with your mom, when she was pregnant with you?
Not too much. I think my sister was close to 3 years old, and they took a nice trip to Europe.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, because there's no doubt that there was some emotion. Like, did your mother experience any loss prior to being pregnant with you? Did she have any experience with a miscarriage prior?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Let me just check. I'm doing a calculation for you. So this year, you get to plant seeds. And this is in response to whatever was going on with you in 2018. What was happening in 2018?
2018. Just honestly, there was depression, some trauma that of an occurrence that happened a few years prior.
Okay, so just so you know, 2018 would connect with 2009. Okay, and let me see, I'm just going to do another calculation for you. And that would be connected to 2015.
Okay.
All right? And so, no doubt in my mind, like, hang on one second. $2,000, and then the next year would be 2000.
Okay.
Okay. And then 1991.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, and this would be like, how old would you have been? You would have been 9? How old would you have been in 1991?
4.
Yeah, 4 years old. And okay, and so just so you know, in that year, whatever happened to you, it took away your power or it took away your security. Like, does that make sense to you?
Hard to think back. I mean, I moved into a new house and I started kindergarten.
Yeah, and see, like, I mean, it's the separation of the mother.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you, like, I could have you talk to my sister. The first day of kindergarten, I cried the whole way. All the way there, I cried all in school. I mean, I know I drove my teachers crazy, but I believed in my heart that I was never going to see my mom again. Like, I just believed it. I was so attached to her energetically, right? So just so you know, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then when you were 13 years old, and then 22, yeah. So just so you know, and then 9, 10, and then 31. So just so you know, like, it's really interesting because this year, like, you're right on the brink of planting seeds. Like, and you're also stepping into your power, preparing to step into your power. And so this year would be a good year for you to, you know, seek out counseling, or where you sort of just feel more empowered, or you seek out things that you'll feel more, what's the word, just more aware. And so this for you, no doubt, last year would have been a year where you sort of would have pulled in your energy and you would have been in a very introspective space. And so
Yeah.
most people believe that we're very depressed during that time, but in fact, it's where we just pull all of our energy in to figure out, because we are adjusting to whatever change occurred in 2019, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, 2019 and 2020.
Yeah.
That was a really introspective, reflective time. Yeah.
Yeah. And that would have been inspired by 2018.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we
okay.
don't just all of a sudden go into a place of, kind of looking at ourselves. Like, something inspires that, So just so you know. And so this year for you is really a beautiful thing. Like, there's no doubt there's creative energy around you. So talk to me about what you're trying to manifest in your life at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was just sort of trying to figure out where exactly I should go within my career field, because with the diploma that I graduate from, there's two, I guess, places where I could be employed, and now I guess as of that reflective time, I figured out that maybe working for the school board would be right for me. So I'm really hoping that works out.
Okay, and so what kind of work do you do?
I'm an early childhood educator.
Yeah, and see, what's really interesting is like that definitely would be challenging for you in the sense that you have a tendency to absorb the emotion. So
Yeah.
one thing I definitely would do if I were you, it's almost like a cloaking or a shielding before you go into that environment. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I came from a family of educators, and I know the politics that are involved with teachers and all that sort of stuff. And so just so you know, it's like there's definitely this emotional demand on you. And so one thing you want to do for sure is just kind of step back and create a certain amount of space. Definitely. And so you have the choice of working for the board of early childhood, and what was your other choice?
Yeah, well, the school board to work in kindergarten.
Okay.
And this is what I'm doing right now, and I hope to get it permanent sometime soon. And then to work in childcare with younger children.
Yeah, and see, like, I can just see you definitely doing that. I can absolutely see, because you just love the energy of children. So, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that you put it out there. And like I say, you put out all sorts of options. And I mean, that way you get to decide. But I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that this for you is like a manifestation year. Like, this is a year where for you, there'll be lots of growth. And it's not just with job. It's where you feel more, empowered and more capable, and where you learn more, which is really great. Let me do your dice for you here, just a sec.
Okay.
See this? I just love that. Okay, I'm just checking. So here you have the 9 and the 6. So this lets me know that for you, it's all about balance, like big time. And when you look at the 9 and the 6, it's a very spiritual and very emotional one. So it's about balancing out your emotion with your fear and all that sort of stuff. It's like your faith will kind of balance out your fear. And that's one thing that I truly believe in, that beautiful energy that you just send out. It's like trusting that you're going to be wherever you're going to be. And the beautiful thing is that you have choices for movement and all that sort of stuff. Then the other number on your dice is a 4, which really means about stepping into your power and really taking back your power and coming out of your comfort zone a little bit. And so no doubt in my mind, it's also a leadership. And then you have the 2 and the 11. So this really speaks about your intuition and whatever it is that you were seeking inside of you. And there's no doubt in my mind that this, whatever, I know that you mentioned some sort of trauma that occurred to you. And just so you know, that trauma, after coming away from it, it is what helped you to kind of develop spiritually. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's no doubt in my mind that you would have learned a lot from it, and that you would have kind of balanced emotion, but as well as your faith, but that you would have been more empowered. So when you talk of the trauma that happened, what year was that in, Amy?
2016.
Yeah, and this one here, just so you know, it was all about balance. And so I'm just curious, what was going on with you in 2015?
15?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, there was a big change that happened then. I was in love with my job, and I guess due to cutbacks from my past, piece of employment being nonprofit, they had to cut my position, and then I had to, I guess, try to reestablish myself in my career another way.
Yeah, and just so you know that whatever you experienced in 2016, it would have just been amplified because of your sensitivity of what went on with you the year before. So there was an emotional imbalance with you, and then whatever occurred kind of physically took you out of your body, like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And see, and this is one thing, like, it's really amazing, right? Because, like, when you send out a prayer to the world that you don't want to be afraid anymore, that you don't want to be anxious anymore, what happens is, like, the universe doesn't just send you, like, this courage. It's more like, I'm going to send you a test. And if you can get through this test, you'll not only restore your emotional balance, but you also have the opportunity to restore your spiritual balance. Like, does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's easy. Like, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's like, then after 2016, which would have really messed with your balance, in 2017, that's where you try to regain your balance and have to advocate for yourself. And then that would lead you right into 2018. And then that's why 2018, 2019, 2020 would have been a highly reflective year. So in other words, since whatever occurred with you in 2015, you are no longer the same person. Like, I'm just writing these affirmation cards that I wanted to do for a while. And it's really amazing because, you know, a real, truly spiritual soldier has been tested. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, like that, like I was given challenges to, I guess, around 2015, around 2016, to see
how deep your faith is, how authentic your faith is. You know, it's like right now, like Lloyd and our store's gone down again. We have no idea when it's going to come back. And all I know is that I absolutely have absolute faith that we are going to be fine. And so does Lloyd, and so does my daughter. And it's like, it's one of these things. Now, but it's a test. Because there could also be this thing, oh, what are we going to do, Lloyd? What are we going to do? What should I do? What are we going to do? We don't have this store. What are we going to do? You know? And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, because you know what? There's always another option. And that's what my life has taught me, is that there's always, like, you know, it's like a cat. You always land on your feet. And somehow, some way, you do. And so, like, you know, and that's where we really find our spiritual strength and our faith, is when we have been challenged. And if we overcome that challenge, then we grow. And there is no doubt in my mind that that's exactly what happened in the reflection of the 2 and the 2 and the back and forth 9. Is it caused you to go inside, it sort of relook at yourself, relook at what where your power was, where your power is. And I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that there was great lessons from that period of your life. It's like, I had someone die in 1998. I'm telling you, it took me right out of my life. But if you had said to me that very trauma would lead you to be sitting here tonight talking to this beautiful muse at, 8:45 on Tuesday, I would have said, that's crazy, but that's exactly what it did. And I'm here to tell you that you're an advocate. You're a person that loves what you do. You bring this creativity and this passion, but deep down inside, you're an advocate. And so just so you know, I just need you to know that. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Did you like your reading?
Yeah, I honestly hope that, I guess, as of this year, with planting my new seeds, like I can, I guess, do what you said good in terms of being where I need to be, like both feet on the floor.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's
So I hope all the seeds that are planted are, going to stay there for a while.
but see what's really interesting, it's
That'll
like
be good, yeah.
it's a garden, it's like it needs to be tended. And so like it's like me, like if I want something, I put the effort in and my focus is completely pure. But like for you, just know you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and no doubt in my mind, for whatever reason, you're like if you put out the energy, you put out the prayer, you put out the intention, you put out all of it, then trust me, if it's not this particular job, something's going to come along that you just love, because that's the most important thing, Amy, is that you need to do the work that you love, or else you would be the walking dead. So just so you know, it's so important. Okay, love?
Great, thank you.
You're most welcome. Bye, doll.
Bye.
Oh, Lloyd, you're so much fun. Have I told you?
I'm just sitting here ringing my chimes.
Yes, you certainly are. Okay. Good?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you. Okay. I'm going here. This is the last read of the night.
Well,
See, I'm not that bad.
we missed one.
Oh, we missed one.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go, my love.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Can you pronounce your name for me?
Margarita.
Okay, can you spell it for me?
Margarida.
Margarida.
Yes.
Wow, that's neat. You have 3 A's in your name. Like that to me is very, very cool. And so it lets me know, like you understand that you don't like conflict.
Yeah.
That you don't like that kind of confrontation.
No.
And that you're highly sensitive to any type of wounding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your birth year?
87.
Okay. And so, and your month?
8.
And your day?
30.
Wow, like you understand, for you it's all about balance.
Mm-hmm.
Like big time. And so like, and you also understand that you kind of walk in 2 worlds, that there's 2 very distinct personalities that go on inside of you. There's one person that just is very, very calm and very determined, very spirited, that has a lot of confidence. And then there's this other side of you that gets caught up in anxiety.
Yes.
And when you're caught up in it, like you cannot pull yourself, or you believe you cannot pull yourself out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, and so then as a result, very sensitive. So what you do is you pull your energy and you retreat, like you take it away from other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, what's really interesting is, like, for you, like, there's no doubt in mind in a past life, and this is what I truly believe, is that when the body dies, the soul leaves the body and takes the imprint of that person's life with it. And then when we sort of reincarnate, we come back into the physical body, our soul has an imprint or a memory. And this helps to explain like how children, that are like tiny can play like amazing piano, or these little kids that can recite all the states and all that sort of stuff. It's like they have this memory, this past life memory. And so for you, there's no doubt in my mind that this is true for you. And I guarantee in a past life, in fact, that you were a soldier. And so there is a part of you that definitely in this life feels that you need to save other people, or you're an advocate for other people. And so people that are kind of broken or needy or whatever will kind of manipulate what they need from you. And then there's a trust issue that goes on with you because you feel that you've been taken advantage of, or that there's times where you're manipulated. And so there's a wounding connected with that. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, so like you're so generous, like it's so interesting because you'll do anything for anybody, and you're very generous with your spirit. And to me, generosity is a way of life. I mean, you can't just be generous with your money, you're generous with your with your emotion, you're generous with your time, you're generous with all of that stuff. But then if somebody betrays that for you, it's like a huge wounding. Like it's something that is just absolutely hugely wounding for you, and something that it's hard for you to shake. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't get over it.
Yeah, and so there's no doubt that you carry files. So one thing I definitely would do for you, and this would be a really good year to do it, is it's like anybody that you feel has screwed you over, like anybody, because I know that there's a certain amount of resentment and anger going on inside of you, and that definitely it isn't like you feel the freedom to be able to go and talk to those people. So you carry this emotion, and like if you think about unresolved anger, or you think about unresolved resentment, or you think about anything like that, would you not agree that it's toxic?
Yeah.
And would you not agree if it's not expressed, or if there isn't a communication, or there isn't some sort of resolution, that you carry that inside of your body?
Yeah.
And you see how that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so one thing I definitely would do, and this is what's really cool, is it's one of those things where you literally, and this is a personal thing, so you write down the truth. Like, just write it down, because you're not going to show it to anybody else. But it's where you get to see. I want you to write down the person and what they did to hurt your feelings, or harm you, or dismiss you, or shame you, or reject you. And what's really interesting, you can also write down the people that have left your life. And it's where you just sort of like honor that it hurt you instead of storing it. Because often what happens, especially with people that have a certain defense, or they have a certain shielding around them, they will hold on to that emotion until they get into a fight, and then often they'll use their wounds as weapons. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just gets you into trouble, because then you feel terrible, and then you have to back yourself out of a corner or dig yourself out of a hole. And so it's really being able to acknowledge that there's a reason that you're wounded, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Like, you share the same energy as me. Like, and I understand. I totally get it. I'm a 8, like, you know, and a 9 with the 2 aspects. So it's like I'm the same way as you. Like, I'll do anything, but like, you know, if I feel in some way somebody has betrayed my trust, or, you know, it's over. Like, it's over. I'm not going to be mean to you, but like, I'll never trust you again. And so it's like just being okay with that. But I want you to acknowledge your wounds. And it's really neat, because I am writing these affirmation decks, and this is what's very cool, is we do not have to prove to the world that we're wounded. We don't. I do not have to prove to you that I've been injured. I have been injured, and I know that, right? But it's really the acknowledgement of that injury that is so important. It's just like, it's not about the fact that the person didn't say they were sorry. It's the fact that the person, because they didn't say they're sorry, they didn't acknowledge your pain.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. 9, 10. Oh my. Everybody I talked to tonight is in a shedding year. And this is so good. It's where you... What it means is you get to decide. You get to look at who you're angry with, who you're holding grudges with. What relationships are just not working in your life anymore. Sometimes it means saying no. It's like, no, I'm going to say no, and maybe people will leave, but that's okay, because I'm done with not being authentic. So it's a shedding. It's also where you find your balance, you find your like when you look at the chariot is all about balance, it's all about empowerment, it's all about moving forward, it's all about will, it's all about determination, it's all about focus, it's all about independence. So, I mean, you're in a 7 year. Last year, definitely your emotion would have been open, like you would have been a bit raw last year and sensitive. And so there's no doubt in my mind, in some ways you may have been like, you know, you may have cried for no reason and got a lot of stuff out, and then you just feel better. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, like, you know, the year before 2020 would have been a highly emotional year. There would have been some sort of loss. Let me just see, I'm going to do a calculation for you. What was going on then?
My whole life was changing.
Okay. Just so you know. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's connected to 2005. Okay.
Yeah.
1996. 1987. So we're going to go right to your mother. Your mother's birth year
57.
and the month
7.
and the day.
7.
Oh my. You want to know something? Here's the very cool thing. I got to tell you, you share the very same energy as your mother. So that lets me know I don't know what is your emotion and what is that of your mother's. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what was going on with her when she was pregnant with you?
Oh yeah, my dad. Like they're in a toxic relationship.
Yeah. And so do you see, like that, like right there, you're in trouble. Like, this is what I believe. 3 things we need as a child coming into this life. We need, number 1, the love and expression of love from our mothers. Number 2, the love and expression of love from our fathers. And number 3 is seeing the 2 of them loving each other. If we don't receive all 3 of those things, it changes who we are. It changes how we love. It changes how we trust. It changes everything. And so there's no doubt in my mind that, you know, and like, think about it. You came into this life, darling, in a war zone. And I believe that you, in a past life, were a soldier. Like, do you hear what I'm saying?
Like I do well when there's conflict around. I'm used to it.
Yeah,
I
and
like it when it's quiet.
yeah, and you want to know something? I'm here to say the only reason that you're doing that is because you distract yourself just enough that you don't have to look at your shit. And you know, it's like no doubt in my mind that you're done with it. It's like, I'm not doing this anymore. And so, I mean, it's really, and that's why you're in a shedding year. It's like, I'm here to say that you carry the energy of the hero, you carry the energy of the advocate, you carry the energy of the mentor, the teacher, and you also carry the energy of the spiritual leader. And I'm here to say, unless you are providing service that carries on with that energy, then everything that you are doing in your life is a complete distraction from kind of vowing and sort of honoring the vow that you made in lifetimes ago, where you promised to be of service in this life. And so, like, it's just so amazing. Like, do you understand that you are a spiritual leader?
Now I do.
Yeah. And so, you know, like, I mean, and it's really interesting because you walk in the energy of 9. So in other words, you know, and what's really cool is that this year you get to just say, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't need to have chaos. It's really interesting. This one time, I mean, I was running around like a freak and I was working like, you know, working like crazy. And I finally just said, like, why am I working so much? And it was really interesting because my spirit let me know, you believe that you are still moving in the energy of when you were a single parent. But the truth of the matter is my daughter is like 40. So it's like, you know, even though like that's how I moved, you know, for so much of my life. And then all of a sudden, like, the truth of the matter is like, I'm not a parent that has a minor child, you know? So it's like really being able to appreciate. And so, like, there's no doubt in my mind, next year, you're going to find your balance. You're going to find your power. I mean, definitely this would be a year where you say, I am no longer willing to feed the storm. I am no longer willing to feed chaos. I am no longer willing to feed drama, because the only reason that I'm feeding this in my life is because I am afraid to step into my power, and I am a spiritual leader. Like, you understand that those are your aspects.
Yeah, it's just hard. This year has been really already testing me.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, we put a post on on our Facebook. I love it. Where you jump out of this burning building in 2020 and you hit a what do you call those things, Lloyd? The little thing at the thing, and it flings you right into a burning building in 2021.
Trampoline.
And all I'm saying is it's a trampoline. And it's like what?
In the year it gets better.
Yeah.
Remember, you don't like the first 14 days of it.
Yeah. And all I know is this. Is like for you, I guarantee it's all about control. It's all about you feeling the need to control everything. And like that's one thing we've learned is that we have no control. Like we have no control. That's what that's what a phone call taught me like almost 30 years ago, is I had no control. Here I was trying to control everything. And in one phone call, I realized I have no control because you just don't know. The only thing, what's that?
No, I was going to ask a question. I'll let you continue on.
Yeah, and all I'm saying to you is the only thing that we can do is how we really, really, really respond to what's going on with us. So you had a question. Go ahead, Val.
Do you believe that like our whole life is already pre-planned before we're born?
You know, that's such a great question. I truly believe that, I mean, if you had said to me when I was 12 years old, that I was destined for this, I don't know. I can't honestly say. But all I know is that the more I let go of the control of where I was headed, the more I landed exactly where I needed to be.
Okay.
And so before I resisted everything, and this is what I truly believe, and I truly believe it with all my heart, is as children, something happens to us. Something happens to us when we shut off and we go numb. And we live in a numb state. Like I was numb when I had my daughter. I was numb when I got married. I was numb when I got divorced. I was numb all the time until someone died. And it took me from a state of being numb to not being numb anymore. And so that's when I came back to life. I mean, some people call it a rebirth. Some people call it being reborn. And so you go from a numb state where you just don't even respond. And that's what the medication, when I was on it, it kept me numb, right?
Yeah.
And then finally I just said, no, I don't want to be numb anymore. So to answer your question, it's like all I know is that for 30 years I've been a numerologist, and I can tell you honestly, with your aspects, that you can either manifest war and chaos and drama, or you can say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I trust everything's going to work out. And with you, one thing that would be really good, and it happens for all of us, is have a plan B. It's like plan B. What's your plan B? If everything falls apart, what's your plan? And it's not that I'm a negative person. It's just that I don't want to put a lot of my energy into fear. It's like, let me do your dice for you. See, like with you, honestly, I really love the fact that you have no dice that are the same. So that lets me know that you're open to a lot of different change. This one, the first number is the 3, which is all about manifestation. So, I mean, it's one of these things. It's like looking at where you want to plant seeds. What do you need more in your life? If you need more money in your life, then think of something that you can do to create money. If you need more friendships in your life, more connections in your life, anything like that, it's where you plant those seeds. The next thing that comes right after that is having faith. Having faith, this is the number 5. So this really is, it's like, for me, it's like, I just trust that everything is going to be fine. So it's really about looking at your beliefs. And so when I look at the 5, it really is about the church. And this is the church or the philosophy that you carry inside of your life. I want you to look at your beliefs. If you believe that you're not going to have success in this life, it's quite likely you're not going to. If you believe that all people are sooner or later going to screw you over, certainly you're going to draw people to you that commit and confirm that belief for you. So one thing I definitely would look at your beliefs. The next number you have is 8, which is really about balance, finding your balance, being able to advocate on behalf of yourself. And it's where you find your boundaries. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. No, I'm not going to do this. Then your next one is 10, which is all about change. Like you're just trying to work through whatever change And I guarantee the more you try to control things not to change, the more they're going to change. And then 12, which again really is a manifester. So for you, it's all about manifesting creativity, coming up with a plan B. So your numbers tonight are 3, 5, 8, 10, 12.
Okay.
Did you like your reading?
I did. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and so like just so you know, I want you to acknowledge your wounds. I want you to really consider the type of human being that you want to leave your imprint in this life, and then just choose to live in that energy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye, love. Hi, Lloyd.
Hi.
How we doing, Babs? Are we done?
I think we are done.
Are we? Why did we have someone reading?
Yeah, I texted her, and she's good for being at the start of next week.
Okay, perfect. Come and stay and sit with me so we can say hi. What does this say? I'm in a year 6. From what I understand, it's to do with love and matters of the heart. Do you have any further insight? 6 for me is a really interesting thing because 6 would be, depending if you're in a year 6, let me just see. I'm going to do this real quick. Lloyd's come away from his bell, see? This
It's
would be
not far
connected with 2015. So just so you know, you being in a year, it's not just about emotion for me. It's not just about matters of the heart. It's about grief. It's about loss. It's about acknowledgement. So if you look at whatever was going on with you in 2015, it would hook up. And then 2015 would be connected to 2006. So 2006, 2015 would all be connected with this year. Hope that answers your question. Thank you both, Ellen and Al, for all your blessings. Aww, that's so nice.
Thank you all for joining in tonight.
Thank you, Lloyd.
It's been a blast. Not sure what was going on with the communications because there were 2 people who were saying they were texting us and I did not receive a text. So I think someone was controlling the communications tonight and it wasn't me. Anyways, we hope you enjoyed it tonight and hope to see you again next week.
Yay, next Tuesday. Yay,
Next
yay,
Tuesday,
yay.
right at 7 o'clock. And if you want to get on the list, it's best to text as close to 7 p.m. as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Love, love, love.
Enjoy.
Bye.